Good afternoon, everyone. So again, start our DSP class. In our last class, we have studied about the analysis of LTI system. In our last class, we have studied about different aspects of LTI system. First one, what is an LTI system? Second one, how the LTI system can be defined with respect to the feeding input to that of the LTI system. That is, whether it's a continuous time LTI system or it's a discrete time LTI system. Now, depending upon the nature of continuous time system or discrete time system, the responses of that LTI system can also be defined by different ways, by using convolution sum for discrete time system or by using convolution integral for continuous time LTI system. Then we are gathering the knowledge about LTI system properties. There are three types of properties are there. One is commutative property, another is associative property, and third one is distributive property. According to those nature of property, LTI system can be defined in future way by different type of realistic problems. Then whenever we are defining that LTI system, the causality and stability of that particular system is also being defined there. So after gathering some knowledge about that of the LTI system, let us try to engulf more knowledge, try to analyze those LTI system by using different types of transformations here. So today's classes is on defined analysis of that LTI system by using different types of transformations. It can be using by Fourier transformation, it can be used by Laplace transformation, or it can be defined by Z transformations also. So let's start our today's class. So we have starting our today's class, that is analysis of that LTI system with transformations. Transformation means basically the transformation of a time domain sequence into its corresponding frequency domain transformations. As we have already told that in our last couple of classes, that there are three types of transformations we have come forward or come across with our daily to day life, that is Fourier transformations, Laplace transformations, and Z transformations. So using those transformations, we can easily analyze one type of any type of LTI system, whether depending upon the nature of that of the input signal feeding to that of the system, we have to choose our transformation techniques. If it is a continuous time system, we have to choose Laplace system. If it's a thoroughly discrete time system, we have to choose our transformation, that is Z transformation. But if the system is defined by a continuous time frequency system, certainly we have to choose the transformation according to our Fourier transformations. So according to the nature applied to that of the system, we have to choose our transformations. Now, according to that logic, since the Fourier transformation has its limitation, Fourier transformation is defined by a certain frequency component, that is omega, and omega is a periodic quantity that is has a period of 2 pi. It ranges from minus pi to plus pi. That has some limitation. So that's why all time, every time, whenever we are going to analyze for that particular LTI system, we cannot apply Fourier transformation for that analysis part. So that's why we can say that since Fourier transformation has its limitation, a counterpart of Laplace transformation, because whenever continuous time Fourier transformation is there, its modification term is defined by Laplace transformation, that is in S domain. Frequency domain is S domain. So that can be defined by a needed for discrete time system. A counterpart of Laplace transformation that is applied for continuous time LTI system analysis. So to perform transform analysis of unstable system and to develop additional insight and tools for LTI system analysis, we have to follow different kind of systems. Because Fourier transformation, Fourier series is being there, so counterpart is Laplace transformation is there. So you have to follow different logics for analysis for different counterparts for that particular LTI system. So what is the mathematical representation for that analysis of LTI system by according to our transformation? So let us suppose first one, that system is a discrete time system. Discrete time system means certainly the input feeding to that of the system. LTI system is certainly a discrete time system. X of n or h of n is there. Discrete means input feeding to that particular system is a discrete system. It can be defined by x of n, or system characterization is being defined by h of n. Discrete means it will be defined by the time of n. So for A discrete time LTI system with impulse response is defined by h of n. So whenever we are come across that of the discrete time system, certainly we have to follow the logic of transformation, that is Z transformation, because Z transformation is the only transformation that comes with the modification form of DTFT, discrete time Fourier transformation. That's why we have to follow the logic of Z transformation. And what Z transformation tells us, that whenever we are dealing with the impulse function of that particular system is h of n, certainly you have to find out its frequency counterpart as h of z. So how to find out that h of z? H of z is simply finding out by doing the Z transformation of h of n. And how it can be find out? That can be easily defined by h of z is nothing but summation of h of n z to the power minus n, then put the summation of different ranges for the value of n. So in that way, the mathematical representation of Z transformation for the analysis of LTI system is being defined. The next one, using the same logic, as it is being defined that whenever we want to analyze or we want to find out the response for any type of LTI system, certainly we have to follow the logic of convolution. If it is a continuous time system, we have to follow the logic of convolutional integral definition. And if it is a discrete time system, certainly we have to follow the convolution sum according to that of the nature of that of the input feeding to that of the system. So as we are dealing or transforming or we are analyzing that LTI system by simply Z transformation, certainly it is being already defined that the system is a discrete time system. So input is x of n and system function is being defined by h of n. So certainly the output for that particular system is being defined by using that convolution logic. But it is being defined that whenever two functions in time domain are convolution with each other, and whenever we are transforming that time domain signal into its frequency domain transformation, certainly that convolution becomes multiplication. So if yn is nothing but convolution of xn with hn, certainly the y of z is nothing but defined by multiplication of xz and hz. What is yz? Yz is nothing but z transformation of that of the LTI system's output. X of z is nothing but defined by the z transformation of system's input, and h of z is nothing but defined by the z transformation of impulse response. So certainly if I want to analyze or want to find out the response of any type of LTI system, certainly we have to follow the logic. In time domain, they are doing the convolution of x of n with h of n to find a value of responses as y of n. But if I want to follow by using transformations, that is simply we want to define that system response as multiplication of their individual z transformation. So in that way, y of z, that is z transformation of that of the system's output, can be defined by multiplication of x of z with h of z. So in that way, the analysis of LTI system with z transformation can be done. Now, according to that of the similar logic for the last class, as we are choosing the concept of stability and causality for that particular system of LTI system, here also the causality and stability for that LTI system can also be defined. But in that cases, that is for time domain sequences. For here we are analyzing the causality and stability for that LTI system by using its nature of Z transformation, using the concept of Z transformation. How the causality and stability is being defined. Let us have a look. Causality. A discrete time LTI system is causal if and only if the ROC of its system function is the exterior of the circle including infinity. Whenever that is defined by time domain signal, the causality of a system is being defined by a causal system if it defined only for the present and past values of input time. That means if the value of n is 0 and positive values of 0, we are gathering that the system is a causal system. For negative values of n, the system is not causal, anti-causal system certainly. But if I want to define that causality in terms of Z transformation or Z domain, certainly we have to follow the logic of ROC, region of convergence. We have already defined what is ROC there. So what a system is defined, when a system is being defined by a causal system, the logic is that if and only if the ROC, the region of convergence of that system function, is should to be exterior of that of the circle. Whenever the ROC becomes the exterior of that particular circle, whatever the radius of that of the circle according to that of the nature of signal, if the ROC follows the exterior of that of the circle including infinity, exterior means it will be extend or greater than that of the value of radius, and whenever it is greater than, that means the value of R will be greater than that very value, and it can be including infinity also. So in those cases the system will be defined by a causal and LTI system. That is the logic for causality of that system. The system's ROC should be exterior of that of the circle. And what is the stability? The LTI system is stable if and only if the ROC of that system function includes the unit circle. That means the value of z mod z equals to 1. Depending upon the logic. In time domain, stability means for each and every bounded input value of that particular system defined or produce or gives a bounded or finite output value. Output and input both at a time should be bounded or finite in nature. Here also for stability system, the LTI system is said to be a stable system if and only if the ROC of that stable system function includes a unit circle. That means whenever the value of that of this ROC of that particular system transfer function is includes within the value of that radius, that means it will be interior or surface of that circle of that ROC, it will be a stable system. So that in that way we can define that causality and stability of that particular system in this way. This causality and stability can be defined by using Z transformation. Whenever the ROC becomes exterior of that of the circle, the system is a causal system. Whenever the ROC includes the unit circle or interior of that of the circle, the system is defined by a stable system. Now causality and stability defined by a rational system function. Rational means some numerator is there, some denominator is there. In our last slide, in this slide, it is defined that the value of that of the system output y of z is nothing but z transformation of the system output is simply defined by h of z and x of z. Now if I want to define that system, that means certainly we have to find out the value of h of z system transfer function. What is h of z here defined by? H of z is nothing but defined by yz by xz. That means yz will be our polynomial of z in the numerator, x of z will be the polynomial of z in the denominator. Certainly there will be a rational type of functions. So you have to define by using the same logic. Stability and causality by using that rational system function. Causality, how the causality is being defined? The ROC is the exterior of the outermost pole. That is the maximum value of pole. Choose the maximum value of pole there. And ROC should be exterior of that outermost pole also. What it actually defines? If there are three values of that denominator roots. Suppose we have a denominator equation in that way, it gives three systems root. P1, P2 and P3. The maximum value of P1, P2, P3 is P3. Then a system is a causal system if the ROC will be greater than that of the maximum value of that pole also. That's simply defined as the exterior of the outermost circle. With Hz expressed as the ratio of polynomial in Z in the order of the numerator cannot be greater than the order of denominator. That is a simple logic. The logic is that when a system is defined by a causal system, the ROC should be exterior of each and every circle. If there are n number of circles are there, it will be exterior of the maximum value of that of the radius of that of the circle. The maximum large circle, exterior of that of the circle will be there for causality system. System will be causal if it will be exterior for the outermost pole also. And for this rational time system function, what is defined by the stability? If it is a causal system, it will be a stable system if and only if all the poles of h of z, that is the system transfer function, all the poles of that hz should lie inside that unit circle. poles should lie inside the unit circle, that is they must have the magnitude smaller than 1. Interior of that of the unit circle, that means it has the magnitude smaller than 1. So it is possible for a system to be stable but not causal. So in that way the system can be defined by, if it is interior of that of the circle, it will be a stable function but not causal. If it is the exterior of that of the circle, it will be a causal system but not stable. But what is the grace period? What is the boundary of that one? If the value lies on the surface of that of the graph, it will be defined by a system that is having causal as well as stable. So in that way, by using Z transformation or other type of transformation, we can easily analyze the LTI system for different types of continuous time LTI system as well as for different types of discrete time LTI system. So in that way, we can easily define, analyze our day-to-day LTI systems. So thank you for today's class.